Persistent volumes, abbreviated as PV, are cluster-wide storage resources in Kubernetes that exist independently of pods. Unlike regular volumes that are tied to a pod's lifecycle, persistent volumes provide a way to manage storage that persists beyond the life of any individual pod. A persistent volume is a piece of storage that has been provisioned in the cluster, either manually by an administrator or dynamically using storage classes. It exists as an API resource that captures the implementation details of storage backends such as NFS, ISCSI, or cloud provider-specific storage systems. Most importantly, it has a lifecycle that is independent of any pod that uses it, meaning the storage persists even when pods are deleted or restarted. The key difference between regular volumes and persistent volumes lies in their lifecycle management. Regular volumes are tightly coupled to the pod's lifecycle, meaning when a pod is deleted, the volume and its data are also removed. In contrast, persistent volumes have an independent lifecycle that survives pod deletions and restarts, ensuring your data remains available even when pods come and go. Here's a basic example of a persistent volume definition. It starts with API version v1 and kind persistent volume. In the metadata, we give it a name, in this case PV example. The spec section defines the volume's properties. Capacity specifies the storage size, here 10 gigabytes. Access modes determines how the volume can be accessed, with read-write once meaning it can be mounted as read-write by a single node. Finally, host path specifies the storage backend, pointing to a directory on the host machine. Persistent volumes support 3 access modes that define how the volume can be mounted. Read-write once, abbreviated as RWO, allows the volume to be mounted as read-write by a single node. Read-only many, or ROX, permits the volume to be mounted as read-only by multiple nodes simultaneously. Read-write many, abbreviated RWX, enables the volume to be mounted as read-write by many nodes at the same time. Not all storage backends support all access modes, so you need to choose the appropriate mode based on your storage provider's capabilities. A persistent volume moves through 4 distinct lifecycle phases. First, it starts in the available phase, meaning it's a free resource ready to be claimed. When a persistent volume claim binds to it, the volume enters the bound phase. After the claim is deleted, the volume transitions to the released phase, where it's no longer available for new claims but hasn't been reclaimed yet. If the reclamation process fails, the volume enters the failed phase, indicating manual intervention is required. Reclaim policies determine what happens to a persistent volume after its claim is released. The retain policy requires manual reclamation by an administrator after the persistent volume claim is deleted, preserving the data. The delete policy automatically removes both the persistent volume object and the associated external storage infrastructure. The recycle policy, which is now deprecated, would perform a basic data scrub and make the volume available for new claims. Retain is the safest option for production workloads where data preservation is critical. Let's recap the key points about persistent volumes. First, PVs are cluster-level resources that are managed independently from any specific namespace or pod. Second, the storage they provide persists beyond the pod lifecycle, ensuring data durability. Third, pods don't consume PVs directly. Instead, they use persistent volume claims to request and bind to available volumes. Finally, Kubernetes supports multiple storage backends and provisioning methods, giving you flexibility in how you implement persistent storage in your cluster.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.